Sun's too high.
Oh God, Ainsley would have gone in there and changed it. I'm sorry.
Live around there. Yeah, buy the building.
Yes, so look. Where do we come out at?
Uh-oh, is YouTube having problems again? This feels awfully low for being 2 minutes in. Are you guys able to stay in? I feel like people are having problems. Uh-oh. No notification, that's not good. Yeah, someone might have blown all the notifications today for no reason, so not sure why someone decided to do that. There we go. They know we go live every day. I don't know why you would ask me, are you going to go live today? Go live every day. You work here. How do you not know this? Well, I'm going to give everybody a couple moments to join then, since no notifications actually went out. We're putting it on social media. I'm going to give Jess a couple moments to do that. Usually, I know 100 people would be here already. On YouTube, as usual, not cooperating. Yeah, so obviously it didn't notify anyone, which is a problem. Yeah, so we're updating social to tell people, and sadly a lot of people are going to miss this because of that, but I can't really do anything. It's a shame. Really a shame. I guess I'll just get started. I'm going to get in the shade so this phone doesn't overheat and explode. A nice shady closed merchandise shed. There we go. So welcome to Epcot. We're continuing our history walk series. This is actually the last park we have to do. It's the one probably with the most history. So let's talk about imagination. Let's get the most painful one out of the way first, shall we? So originally it was supposed to open with the park on October 1st, 1982. The ride was too complicated. They had a lot of problems. They were supposed to be roller coaster portions of the ride where the trains would sort of drop into the next scene. That didn't really work. The turntable was probably the most complicated thing Imagineering's actually ever done and always had problems because of that. I mean, it was such a crazy idea. Okay. It was just crowded for no reason in a pandemic. Why do people feel the need to stand next to? Yes, it's shade, but you can't stand next to people in the shade right now. That's how this works. So yeah, the original Journey to Imagination ended up opening on March 5th of '83 with Figment and the Dreamfinder, an amazing omni-mover journey through your imagination. Or through the imagination. The your would come later. Yeah, so when the pavilion did open, they just had Magic Journeys playing in the Magic Eye Theater, which would be replaced in '86 when Captain EO happened, which would then be replaced in 1994 by Honey, I Shrunk the Audience, which in turn was replaced by Captain EO again after Michael Jackson died. He died in '09. That show debuted in the summer of 2010. And then a couple years ago, they switched over to the Disney and Pixar Short Film Festival, which has had 2 iterations with different shorts in the lineup at this point. And then come back over here. So the original Journey to Imagination lasted until 1998. Kodak wanted something new. Michael Eisner hated Figment and Dreamfinder, and so they wanted to do something new. And so they developed Journey into Your Imagination, which debuted in time for the Millennium Celebration, debuted on October 1st of '99, and was probably just about the worst thing they've ever produced. They shortened the ride significantly. They cut out the turntable and a lot of the rest of the ride to move ImageWorks downstairs. The ImageWorks used to be upstairs, not just in the DVC lounge. The DVC lounge was kind of the lobby. You'd actually proceed into an enclosed part in the back of the building on the 2nd floor. For the old ImageWorks, but then for ADA compliance and such, they moved ImageWorks downstairs when they opened that second version, but people hated it. People wrote letters, people complained. I know we did. We were advised by guest relations to write a letter. We went and complained to guest relations, one of the few times we had at that point in my life. Wrote letters, and needless to say, very quickly, they got to work on something new. So in '01, just 2 years after this one opened, or Journey to Your Imagination opened, they closed to make a new version. So people obviously complained that Figment and Dreamfinder were gone. Figment appeared briefly in Journey into Your Imagination, kind of as a cameo. But yeah, so '01 they closed, and in June of '02, I think it was June 5th, in fact, of '02, we were here. They opened Journey into Imagination with Figment, which added a lot more Figment and brought back the original song, One Little Spark, and people were happier. I think, like many, I assumed it was a temporary stopgap. Maybe we have to live it for 8 to 10 years, and then they do something finally. And then that didn't happen. And here we are 18 years later. And this is now the longest lived version of this ride. 18 years later. Yeah. I don't know what else to say, really. But the fun story about the development of the this version was the budget was not very big, and so the guys working on it pulled money, not with management not knowing, pulled money out of other projects. So a little bit of money came out of Mission Space. Some money came out of some other things they were working on at the time. They just kind of funneled it into this. They're like, we don't have enough money to actually finish this. So we need to pull a couple million from a few other things to make this work. I think originally they only wanted to add Figment statues, and then I think they fought for the animatronics and a couple other things in the ride. Tony Baxter's not planning to do anything. Tony Baxter's not with the company anymore. That would require the company to care. about fixing this attraction, which, given the current climate especially, they do not. They already were not planning to touch this until 2025. This was the second phase of Epcot's redo, which phase one isn't mostly even happening at this point. So I wouldn't count on it. I wouldn't count on them miraculously bringing Tony Baxter back to fix this. It's not going to be a priority anytime soon, given it wasn't already, never mind now, given the current financial situation here. The 2025 thing was not Inside Out. Inside Out died apparently because Pete Docter didn't want to do it. Pete Docter did not want to get rid of Figment. And so in the end, that kind of fizzled. They decided it wasn't going to happen for whatever reason. But I don't think Pete was super excited about it. You know what? We're going to go sit by the restroom to see if we can hear the music. For those unaware, the original background music for the pavilion still plays out by the restrooms here. There's the building, the show building. You can kind of hear it from here. I'm not going to go in the restrooms with a camera. You can hear it. It's playing One Little Spark right now. But yeah, no, those are the best bathrooms to go to if you're in Epcot. You want to relive your childhood a bit. Also plays Making Memories, an old pre-show from the Magic Eye Theater. Yeah, please hit the like button if you're enjoying this tour. That since the notifications didn't come out, we could really use the likes today to make sure people find this. Yeah, but at least Muppet Vision is still there, right? Muppet Vision wasn't replaced with some haphazard replacement. You know, so just hope they leave Muppets alone. But yeah, now 18 years of this. 18 years of Fridgement. Yeah, of course, the Imagination Institute theme originated with Honey, I Shrunk the Audience, based on Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, that film series. Eric Idle starred in that as well, in Honey, I Shrunk the Audience. And so they also moved him over as the chairman of the Imagination Institute to this attraction. And the music loop you hear now reflects that iteration. You'll hear some Honey, I Shrunk the Audience music in there. Someone brought an old Figment. There's an old Figment plush over there. I'm gonna go this way.
Okay, I got it. Did you get it? Okay. Thank you.
Oh, he has a tiny mask on too. Vintage Figment has a tiny mask. I don't think Living with the Land's going anywhere at the moment. I think the Seas and the Land were both in a lot of trouble before the pandemic. I think now they likely will stay for a while. That was another phase 2 thing. Was getting rid of both these pavilions for something new. Mostly because they cost them a lot of money. Costs a lot of money to run that greenhouse. Costs a lot of money to feed those fish and take care of them. We can go in the land. People yelling Nemo. Just hear people yelling Nemo. The two pavilions were the one we just were at and the one here have a lot of inspiration from an Imagineer by the name of Walter Paraguay. It's certainly arguable how good of a human being he was. He said some things in his later years that haven't aged well. But nonetheless, his artistic styling very present in both original pavilions. In fact, you still find some Walter Paraguay style in Imagination. If you look at if you go up to the DVC lounge, the elevator, still the original elevator. And on there are some real funky shapes, big swooping shapes. It's based on a lot of that Walter Paraguay art, concept art he did. A lot of that also present throughout this pavilion, including the beloved wall carpet that we're looking at right now. And as well on the mural out in front. And then even in more recent years at the elevators on the other side of the pavilion, a lot of Walt Paraguay style art. Walt also was a little crazy though, but some good stuff. If you ever seen the attraction poster for the Eternal Sea, which existed at Tokyo Disneyland, that's more of his stuff. But again, I won't celebrate the man. I'll celebrate the art. Coming up on Soarin' Around the World. This queue area, this entrance, most of this was the waiting area for kitchen cab. Oh my God. These people are causing a huge bottleneck here. I gotta get out of here. I gotta get to a safe space. This family that's decided to stand right in front of the marquee. All right, I'm gonna go over here by the bathroom. These water fountains. I'm gonna stand by these water fountains. So yeah, a lot of this waiting area and then that first section of queue made up originally Kitchen Cabaret, which was a show about the food groups, singing fruits and vegetables and bread and all sorts of things. Very cute show hosted by Bonnie Appetit. Very cute. And then replaced by a show I also really enjoyed, Food Rocks, a good update, I thought. A lot had changed in the world of nutrition. We had moved on to the food pyramid at that point, and so they made a new show to reflect that, but also to reflect the times. A lot of parody songs, and actually a lot of famous musicians did the music for that. Little Richard was in that, and did music from Cher and Queen and all sorts of stuff. A really fun show. Peter Gabriel as Pita Gabriel, like a pita that you would eat. P-I-T-A. It's a really fun show. A lot of people don't talk about it enough. I think a show that didn't get enough credit for what it was. But both were great. I like Kitchen Cabaret. I like Food Rocks. For the longest time, hidden behind a wall of this queue was the stage. The stage was still there, and the queue just went right through the middle of the theater. They have since removed everything from the stage and the stage itself from behind the wall, but that closed in. Food Rocks closed in 2003, and they started building Soarin', which is a clone of Soarin' over California, which was one of, if not the only popular opening day attraction at Disney's California Adventure in 2001. We got Soarin' opened on 5/5/05 as part of the Happiest Celebration on Earth, where we were importing attractions from every Disney resort around the world. Lights, Motors, Action came from Walt Disney Studios Paris. Cinderellabration from Tokyo. Soarin' from the Disneyland Resort in Anaheim, California. We're gonna go look at these elevators because here's the Walt Paraguay art. His crazy stuff. A very unique style. The man had a very unique style. The pavilion went through pretty drastic changes. When Soarin' came in, they redid the Sunshine Seasons. I think it used to be real pretty. There was a large fountain right about there. Very, very pretty. And they broke it up and said they did this sort of airport theme, which I'm not crazy about. And the Sunshine Seasons, they did break the seating areas are broken up into seasons. So this is autumn or fall. We have summer over here, the cool blues and the yellow sunny tables. Out over there we have spring in the middle. And then way back there, undercover back there is winter, which has snowflakes on the tables. And the seasons are also represented by the hot air balloons up above, which used to move. Haven't moved in quite a while. Symbiosis was the original film in the Harvest Theater, or Awesome Planet now is, that debuted in '82. Epcot Center was real big on films. They developed a lot of new film technologies, a lot of new kinds of projectors, new formats, larger formats that had never been done before. And the Harvest Theater was one of those. It was a super large format that no one had done before. Symbiosis was not the most interesting film, though. It's pretty boring. I will tell you, I remember not liking it very much. But then in the 90s, when they redid this pavilion, and we got Food Rocks and Living with the Land and Garden Grill, they put in the Circle of Life and Environmental Fable starring characters from The Lion King, trying to make it more interesting. I think they did a good job. It was a good mix of what Epcot is and what Epcot could be. And that lasted quite a while until a couple of years ago that closed. And then finally they sought out to fix up the theater with the new Awesome Planet, which debuted in January at the International Festival of the Arts. One of the films that debuted as part of the launch of that event. Living with the Land was originally Listen to the Land. Had a song that a lot of people really loved that debuted in '82 and was changed in '94 to Living with the Land, which got rid of the beginning part, the Symphony of the Seed. Replaced that with the forest scene that's there now. Other than the music in that, not very different. Not very different at all. Garden Grill was originally the Good Turn. Came to Garden Grill in the 90s. Above that is the Corporate Lounge. Of course, the original sponsor here was Kraft. So Kraft came in '82. The '94 refurbishment was Nestle, and they left as well. And there's been no one since. Although Living with the Land is sponsored by Chiquita. That is a one-attraction sponsorship, and probably more of a corporate alliance than it is a sponsorship. I think they have an overall corporate alliance with the Walt Disney Company. So I think when you buy Chiquita bananas at the store, sometimes they have Disney characters, stickers on them. Yeah, that's the land pavilion. Hit that like button if you're enjoying our little history walk. Please subscribe if you're enjoying these as well. We'll be live every day from a Walt Disney World theme park, resort, or Disney Springs.
I sent him to get a
If you guys want to hear about the living seas, I'm going to need 200 likes. 200 likes for the history of the living seas. Come on, we can do it. Another cool thing. So on this side of Future World, a lot of curved lines, free forms. People are freaking out about a duck ramp. A duck ramp. I mean, I agree. I like the duck ramp. I share her enthusiasm. But yeah, these rounded shapes and ponds are on this side for a reason. This side is all about the environment, which will still be reflected when this will be world nature. So the reason they're picking nature is because that's what this side was always intended to be. Natural occurrences, the seas, the land, the human imagination. The other side, you'll find angular shapes, sharp corners, squares. That's because that side is industry. It's all about industry, American, and I guess not just American industry, mostly. This is an American theme park. So you had the universe of energy, all about energy and how we get it and where it comes from and what we use it for. You had, strangely enough, the wonders of life ended up over there, but I guess medicine is an industry. That was later, so I don't know why they ended up deciding on that, but nonetheless, Horizons looked at where we were going and was sponsored by, and a member of industry, General Electric. And then you had all about transportation, motor vehicles, trains, things of that sort on that side. Celebration of industry. A lot of Epcot's layout actually taken from the 1939 New York World's Fair, not the 64. 64 Disney was actually there, had some attractions, but a lot of Epcot Center based in many ways on that 39 fair in layout and themes and overall vision. You guys are so close, you're 14 lakes away from hearing about the living seas. 13 lakes away. Sadly, I can't go in the building because there is no Wi-Fi nor LTE. I would love to go in and talk about it. I just sadly cannot. I don't know if the Horizon sinkhole rumors were true. It's certainly possible. But I've never heard anyone... It's always been very secondhand. I've never heard it from anyone who I feel like would have actually known it to be true or not. We did it. Thank you, everyone. All right, let's talk about the Living Seas. The Living Seas, not an original pavilion. So yeah, Future World on this side used to end at the land because you had to come through the middle of Communicore. This is a fairly new occurrence, this walkway over here. And that's still a temporary thing, not a thing that's going to be here. Although it might. We know on the other side they're going to have a bypass. I don't think it's clear in the art if this side's going to have one or not. And I guess the Guardians one still was being argued about last I heard. I don't know if what they decided on. Either way, 1986, even though promoted at the opening of the park, they finally built the Living Seas, presented by United Technologies. And so this building was gray, beige, somewhere between gray and beige. And the mural was still very colorful, different colors, but to take away all these metal fish, and you had a beautiful mural of a sunrise on the ocean. Maybe it was a sunset. It's probably a sunset. One of the two. I don't remember. It's the sun on an ocean. And you'd enter through there, and you go through that. That first queue room was the same shape. It wasn't a beach. It was just kind of a carpeted room with some little exhibits. One of the exhibits was even about 20,000 leagues under the sea. And then you'd go into the next room, which was a circular holding room with some projections above. And you can choose to either watch the film or you can go straight to the hydrolators. If you watch the film, it was sort of creepy but wonderful little film presentation about the story of the formation and the importance of the ocean. And then it would welcome you to the Seabase Alpha. And then you'd go board a fake elevator that was supposed to take you down under the ocean into the Living Seas, Seabase Alpha. Ride, or you could watch the film and then hydrolator to the ride. That feels right. Oh, everyone lost audio. That's what it's a dead zone over on this side. Yeah. Yeah, this side of Future World is a bit of a dead zone. Sound. Where did I leave off? I don't know what the last thing you guys heard was. I have no idea. We're talking about hydrolators. Yeah. Yeah, so the film, or you can skip to the hydrolators. Either way, you'd go to the ride, which was a very short Omnimover ride. You're good. Thank you. Yeah. And there was a little Omnimover ride that went through the tank. You get to see out into the tank, and then it would take you to Seabase Alpha. And then you get off at Seabase Alpha, and it's pretty much as it is now, except for Turtle Talk with Crush. It was different color in there, again, kind of gray. And all those same marine exhibits, they've changed a little bit, but not much. Manatees were there, dolphins, the big tank, all of that pretty much the same. But yeah, we lost the original Omnimover ride and that great film and the old pre-show and queue. And then we also got this blue color and this new mural. When did they drop the sponsorship? It was in the 90s. They weren't around for long, United Technologies. They weren't around for most of the attraction's history. Then in 2006, Nemo came out in 2003. By 2004, not only did we have that photo op, the Nemo photo op outside, but then Turtle Talk with Crush opened. That was kind of the beginning of the end for the Living Seas. And then in '06, they finally closed to convert Sea Base. But they had been working on the ride for some time. And then in the fall of 2006, the ride and the revamped pavilion debuted. And they've been mostly the same since then. Toy Story clouds. It's a pretty sky today, sure. I can get behind that. Coral Reef can be good. A lot of dishes are hit or miss. It's cool in there, but I probably like the interior for all the wrong reasons. It's very 90s in there from the last time they remodeled it. It's fine. It's not going to blow you away. The dessert is good. It's just a lava cake, but it's very good. The chocolate wave. There's the Honey I Shrunk the Audience score. The theme playing for you now. Of course, the Lucite just came back, the old fountain design, which was here from 82 to 99, and now again. Redid all the entry area in 1999 for the Millennium Celebration. They put in the Leave a Legacy stones and that new fountain that year. It was a big year in Epcot history. That was like that was the attempt to fix Epcot. That was 80s Epcot is gone and we need a new Epcot. Still based in edutainment and a celebration of world culture. And that was the last great effort to do this park right. The Epcot Center logo, which you see on the site, was here from 82 into the 90s. For a brief bit in the 90s, the park was named after the year, Epcot 94 and such. And then finally they made it just Epcot in the mid-1990s with that logo that most people don't like. A lot of people don't like the sea eating the globe. And then now Epcot is back in almost the original font. It's a little altered. The C's pretty different, but it looks good. Reminds me enough of the old logo. Fun enough. Did you look at the sign yet? No. Yeah. I don't hate it either. I thought the day this sign went away would be much sadder, but I honestly like this one. It looks enough like the original where I'm glad it lives on. Who knows? I want to know why there's a line on the bag. That's what I want to know.
To go with the whooshiness of the
Maybe.
Is that the design word?
Oh, this one's lit because you can see the blue in the
They are
stripes.
both lit.
No. No, that's not light. That's the paint reflecting off the silver paint. So the blue is reflecting off the silver paint
Is
up
it
there.
translucent?
This is lit. This is lit in blue.
Oh, and the white back.
Yes, the white with the blue stripes is lit. These are all black now too. On both sides.
Those ones were blue.
Yeah, they went black on both sides. It looks good. I like it. Now we just gotta get rid of this ugly Siemens blue over here.
I don't think that's the Siemens.
Whatever, they did it. It's their fault. It was
Paint it
great.
all black.
It was great before.
Paint it black.
It was great before. It was great.
I want to see a red spaceship Earth.
Is it not leaking today? It's not leaking today. It's the first time in a while. I guess we haven't had heavy rain in a couple days. So it finally stopped. But usually, even if it rained the day before, you'd come and this would still
That
be
was literally
leaking.
just blue above pin traders.
Yeah, they painted
Do you
last
want a
night.
pin trade?
No.
No.
Do you want a pin trade? I can go pin trade. It's fitting, the pin trade. This is where pin trading started. October 1st, 1999 at Pin Central. Out in the middle. Yeah, that's the day we started. It was my first day of pin trading.
It's like charcoal more than black.
And I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on it since.
They think
It is
you're
black.
joking, but you're not joking.
I'm not joking. Do you have pins with you?
I brought some pins.
You brought pins?
I brought pins.
Okay.
Hi. You see any pins you like?
I don't know. Do you need anything?
Could I trade for in the yellow square? There's one of the silver, it's like a dwarf pin. Second from the top right. Yeah, that one, please.
There's a dwarf. You need a dwarf?
That would be great.
They're
And
gonna
then,
drop it in the cookie tin.
Can we also
love that
trade
tin.
in the red square, the bottom left? It's an apple. Thank you. Okay, so now I have
Your
to
pins
keep,
are on the table.
I have to keep my back.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna mosey over here.
Okay, I'm gonna go over here. Spaceship Earth, obviously original to the park. Originally sponsored by Bell Systems. Kids, look it up. In 1982, voiced by, it's argued often, but I think, what did Marty say was official? Was Vic Perrin or Larry Dobkin? What he landed on? Was Larry Dobkin the one Marty said was the real one? Because for years, everyone argued if it was Vic Perrin or Larry Dobkin. But either way, the first one people actually remember is 1986, voiced by Walter Cronkite. Walter Cronkite, famous newsman, famous anchor. So beloved by the public that he was voted the most trustworthy man in the world. You know, when Walter Cronkite told you and that's the way it was, you believed it. Yeah, so Cronkite was 86 to 94, and then in 94, the AT&T version. We got Jeremy Irons, who at the time was also doing voiceover work for Disney, Scar and The Lion King. That was a common thing at that time. If you did a Disney animated movie, they'd often tap you for some park role. And we got what was my personal favorite version of the ride in 94. Beautiful music. Great script and great narrator. Really emotional. Great finale. And then Siemens came in 2007. And at least they took the wand down. The infamous Sorcerer Mickey wand came down. But we did lose the descent of Spaceship Earth in that refurbishment for the Jib Jab video ending. Do you want to go on Spaceship Earth?
I would love
Go on?
to.
We can go on Spaceship
Do the
Earth.
people like Spaceship
They
Earth?
like Spaceship Earth. We'll try. I don't know how well the connection's going to hold.
Please like
But we'll-
for Spaceship Earth.
we'll give it a
Not
shot.
bleeding. She's not bleeding.
It's not bleeding today.
She's doing
That's right.
well. But you can see her rest up above.
Yeah.
out of breath.
Available blue line, please.
Where's that Epcot logo that we were just talking about? Yeah, so Siemens came in 2007. They struck the deal a couple years before. AT&T left a couple years before. And then finally in '07, they got around to doing this.
It's the best mural ever.
It's a great mural. This park had a lot of murals.
I miss murals.
Yeah. Fantasyland and Epcot both had a lot of great murals.
Please take small children by the hand and watch your step
I
on
want
the
to know
moving
when they make
platform.
Spaceship Earth
The platform
Wishables,
is
what will
moving
they
at the
be?
same speed as your time
There's a
machine
Flair
vehicle.
Savage shirt ahead of us.
Please take small children by the hand and watch your step onto the moving platform.
That was during the
platform
Cronkite
and your
version of the
time machine
ride.
vehicle are moving at equal speed. The sliding doors on your time machine will close automatically. For your safety, remain seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the vehicle. And please watch your children.
That's who should narrate this ride next is Ric Flair.
Watch your step onto the moving platform. For your safety, remain seated.
Although I guess he should be part of Space Mountain, not Spaceship Earth.
And please watch your children. The sliding doors on your time machine will close automatically. For your safety, remain seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the vehicle. And please watch your children.
Seguridad. Permanezcan sentados y mantengan las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del equipamiento. Cuiden a los pequeñitos. Gracias.
The sliding doors on your time machine will close automatically. For your safety, remain seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the vehicle. And please watch your children.
Para su seguridad, permanezcan sentados y mantengan las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del equipamiento. Cuiden a los pequeñitos.
The sliding doors on your time machine will close automatically. For your safety, remain seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside.
And hit stop momentarily. For your safety, remain seated at all times. During your slow-moving journey,
They have to take their picture.
This is Station Bird Control. Welcome aboard. On the map in front of you, please show us where you're from while we input your time travel coordinates.
Everyone smile.
Good. Sending photos to the
Of course, the terrible photo
linking you now to
added in 2007.
Like a grand and miraculous space, our planet is sailing through the universe of time, and for a brief moment, we can see among its passengers. But where are we going? And what kind of
The opening line of Spaceship Earth is carried through most versions of the ride. And this weird colorful mist thing was a little more prevalent in the older versions of a mist, and then in the middle of that mist you'd see these images before the '07 version where they made this CGI animated vignette of the mammoth.
and survive together? It takes 15,000 years to come up with the next bright idea, recording our knowledge on cave walls. But with only one small problem. When we move, the recorded knowledge stays behind. Now let's move ahead to ancient Egypt, because something is about to happen here that will change the future forever.
So through the first 3 versions of the ride, the theme was communication. And then for the Siemens version, since Siemens is not a communications company, they made it about invention and innovation. And each invention changing the world forever after. The proposed version that was supposed to be already underway this year, the new version was going to be about storytelling. It would have been the first non-sponsored overhaul of the rides, completely paid for, carried out by the Walt Disney Company alone. I will say I was rubbed wrong by the fact that Siemens changed from communication theme. Never mind the storytelling theme that Disney wanted. This was one of the only early scenes that was changed for the Siemens version. This used to be the birth of the theater, and instead it's now the advent of mathematics. Of course, Jeremy Irons used to say the theater was born. You can smell Rome burning already. This scene mostly unchanged of the chariot animation. There was a little 2D anime chariot that would, via projector, run down that street every so often. Ooh, that's strong. Ooh, can't breathe. It's like when you have too much horseradish and your face just goes numb. What I'm experiencing right now with Rome burning. There was actually supposed to be a West Coast version of Spaceship Earth when California was supposed to get Westcott. It was going to be called Space Station Earth. It was going to be taller than Spaceship Earth, and it was going to be gold. Immobile Angelo! It's a mobile Angelo. He no move. He no move, a mobile Angelo. He just like a look. He likes to look at the ceiling.
Me too.
There we go. We just passed him, but the boy selling papers used to face towards us. In the Siemens version, they turned him facing that plywood street.
We're not really sure why.
I don't know, just maybe to... Oh, I don't really know. Just a decision someone made. They're like, oh, it looked like he's selling it down the street. The movie theater used to show clips of both Snow White and 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea back in the day. Mousetrap. The game of Mousetrap back there. Still Wizard of Oz. The album's still Wizard of Oz, yeah. This part of the ride we're now in is all made for the Siemens version. But of course, this part meant to represent the more current years than the present. It over the years many times. I'll never forget the '94 version. You had the the two kids talking, one kid in Japan, the other kid in America. They were having a video conversation over the internet, which, yeah, which was a thing that would not have, would have been pretty new idea in 1994. I think what would have shocked most about the 1994 version is how much of the future of communications AT&T got and Imagineering got right at that time, because so much of that is really the way we interact now. It's not with a phone, but the wireless video communication and audio communication is our everyday life now.
That video chat scene, though, like as being a younger person, that got me like really excited.
Yeah.
Like, oh wow, one day we'll be able to do that.
And now you can.
And now I can. And now there's nothing here to make me excited.
Poised to shape the future of this, our spaceship Earth.
Your time machine is now rotating backward.
There's not a lot of
Please remain
animals
seated.
on spaceship.
Attention. You are now rotating backward and return
Only
to
the
Earth.
two horses.
Please remain seated, time travelers. Attention, travelers. Please remain seated. Your time machine is rotating backward.
Yeah, they had video calls, but I just think, like the fact that someone was watching their family graduate, like they were watching a college graduation from somewhere across the globe, like not just a video call, but the idea of being able to stream things like that to each other.
And now we're literally streaming.
Yeah, the birth of a baby, things like that. It wasn't just about, video call, because video calls envisioned, pretty much since the advent of television. But not just that, but more just the idea of being able to send video of events and at any time.
Share that life moment.
Not getting into a booth and being able to make a video call, but instead. No, there were more.
Or did they add them?
There were more here.
So then where did they go?
Oh, they're just removed.
They didn't move them to other scenes or anything.
There's different numbers each version. The finales are, this is the version with the least by far. I have no eyes. And you didn't show up. Figment and Remy didn't show up. That doesn't sound good. What the hell? That is not good. Yeah, no, that's the ride track making that noise. I've never heard it do that before.
We heard some noises on the ascent.
Not like that.
2 weeks ago, but not
like that creaking. That's.
So here's to the next 30,000 years on Spaceship Earth. While no one knows for sure what we'll see or do, I do know it will be quite an adventure.
As we continue our amazing journey aboard Spaceship Earth. And there's Judi Dench. She's like, see you in the future. Remember letters? I love letters. Where are we going? How will we get there?
Your vehicle doors will open automatically. Please keep your hands away from the doors and step carefully onto the moving platform.
Yeah, Jeremy Irons is like, an invention as profound as all that has come before us. And Judi Dench is like, learn your ABCs. Two very different scripts. The post-show has included many different things over the years. Originally, including the World Key Information Kiosk, where cast members stationed in a different place in the park via video call could talk to you and help you with your day at Epcot. They answer any questions. They could make dining reservations. Do all sorts of things. There was a whole bank of them here, and then there was a bank of those kiosks outside of guest relations as well. Then, of course, there was the Global Neighborhood and the new Global Neighborhood for the AT&T version. And then Project Tomorrow.
You are tomorrow's child.
Yeah, Tomorrow's Child. And we're on this side. If you guys are enjoying the stream, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. If you really like what we're doing, you could give us a super chat right here on YouTube or support us by becoming a member of the WDWNT Interglobe Society at patreon.com/WDWNT. At $7 a month, you get the new show Detailed, in which we go to different locations. I'll point out all the hidden and intricate details that maybe you missed.
How pretty it is. It's got
The
some
lucite,
color.
yeah.
It's got some color.
I will tell you guys, as those WIGS numbers continue to grow, I mean, we're just over 100 members, I think, at the beginning of the year, now over almost 350 strong. As those numbers grow, it'll give us the opportunity to do bigger things that'll be WIGS exclusive, since there'll be so many of you. Bigger exclusive events and such in the future. I'm not even going to get into the history of communicorn interventions because then we'll be here for 5 hours.
What about the history of the obsessed buster?
Oh my God.
It was my favorite.
Oh. This part of the park is embarrassing. Future World's been embarrassing for the last decade.
Or more.
Probably more. Yeah. The park's broken into two sections: embarrassment and drinking.
Aw.
That's the two sections of Epcot.
I think I prefer the embarrassment section. Less buffoonery.
Figment looked good today.
Daddy?
Yeah, they
Does
fixed
he
him.
headbang into the
He's
foyer?
headbanging, but he talks now while he headbangs.
Oh.
So it actually just looks good. But he does, he's
So
bopping.
he's like Phil Ensemble.
He's bopping.
He's bopping. Did you see the fountain wasn't on?
Yeah, I know.
It's so quiet with no fountain.
And we're gonna walk past what was the universe of energy. It's presented by Exxon and Exxon Mobil at various points. The original attraction Lasted from 1982 to 1996. The original pre-show had a thing called Radoc blocks. They were these blocks that on two sides had a white projection surface, and on one side were black. And all sorts of cool effects could be accomplished with these blocks rotating while being projected onto. It was pretty fun. Yeah, that was removed for the 96 version. They had a lot of maintenance issues with the Radoc blocks. So actually in the summer of 96, when they weren't quite done yet, but they needed to open because so much of this side of Future World was closed, between Horizons being seasonal and World of Motion being closed to become test track. They actually ran the original attraction on the flat screen. So the Radoc block pre-show ran on a flat screen for a while that summer. Yeah. And so the second version of the Universe Energy debuted in 96. The Ellen's Energy Crisis / Adventure. Starring Ellen DeGeneres and Bill Nye the Science Guy. Featured a pretty historic and well-made for the time CGI sequence of the Big Bang. The Ding Dang? I was waiting for it. The Big Bang. All right, Universe, you're clear for takeoff. What is rain? Yeah. No one likes Ellen now, so probably a good thing they got rid of it, right? But the dinosaur sequence was directly inspired by the Ford Magic Skyway, and those dinosaurs which eventually moved to Disneyland as part of the Primeval World diorama along the Disneyland Railroad. And then that was copied in 82 for the Universe Energy, and those lasted through both versions of that show. The trackless theater car was invented for this attraction. It would be used once more, of course, for the Great Movie Ride. And in the most ironic moment in theme park history, both of them closed on the same day, August 13th, 2017.
It's like making you choose between your children, like really.
Yeah. And of course, now it's going to be Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, which will be Epcot's first real roller coaster, not Spaceship Earth, which does run on a roller coaster track, but isn't a roller coaster. It'll have a backwards launch and rotating cars. It'll launch you out of what was the Universe Energy building. Hi.
We appreciate everything you're doing.
Oh, thank you so much.
Sure.
In-person super chat pictures? Oh, no, you don't even know what to do for us. For us especially, it's like you gotta do so much. Yeah, we're hoping.
That means a lot.
Yes, and thank you so much.
You guys enjoying your trip?
Very much.
Very much. Depends on what they like to eat, but
Well, it's Orlando in the summer.
yeah, well, I mean, we're coming from both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're not from very far.
You knew what you were in for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, can I get maybe a selfie?
Yeah, sure.
We were really looking forward to it.
Yeah. I'll be here today. I look at my phone, it's just like, I don't know, embarrassing or I don't know.
Aw, people are so nice. We love meeting you guys. Have a great day.
All right.
We have to get you a photo pass, photographer.
Sorry. What was I talking? I was talking about Cosmic Rewind. Yeah.
Backwards
So,
launch.
so the whole Universe Energy building, which had a whole attraction and everything in it, will now just be a queue and a load area, and then
I hope it's
this
very...
giant building
Well, they
is just
should
a
be
queue.
able to socially distance
Just
well
a
in
queue,
there,
yeah,
right?
right?
It's big
The
enough.
queue's actually not that big. It's just 2 rooms. But anyway, they were fighting even before all this. They were fighting about where they're going to put the
Just put
overflow.
the people outside.
I think it's just going to go down. I think it's going to go all the way down here, down the side of the building.
Just throw
but
them
anyway.
backstage in that part.
Yeah, that'll raise some interesting questions. But yeah, this is just the load, unload, and the queue in this giant building. And then you'll launch backwards down that tunnel that goes over a road. And you can actually see the tunnel right there, that thing that's jutting up into that big blue building. which is the gravity building where the roller coaster ride will be. So you'll launch backwards in there. You'll come back under that launch on the bridge to come back to this building. And it's expected to open next year. Hopefully, knock on wood. Something different for Epcot.
Definitely different for Epcot.
Sadly, no animatronics.
Wow, they're making good progress.
Mostly
on
projection. But it looks fun.
that.
And supposedly there will be a reference to the universe energy and that the launch will be caused by the Big Bang.
The ding ding?
Yep. Supposedly Rocket's supposed to even say that, supposedly. Rocket will be like the ding ding and then
we'll
boom.
get us. Then we're gonna be happy.
You're also, I think you're going to rotate around like a planet. It'll have some references
Yeah.
to energy, and I think there will be a slight edutainment aspect to it.
Yeah.
I don't think it will be the worst. I don't
Well, you think
think it will be completely
You think
un-Epcot.
about what Rocket says on Mission Breakout, like about Disneyland, like.
I don't think they're going to, but they are supposed to be at Epcot. In the
Yeah.
story, they are at Epcot.
So who knows?
we're
You
not
can
going
say
there.
anything now.
Did you want to go in mask here? I already went in mask.
Anything interesting?
No dinosaurs. The dinosaurs are not making it. They're not going to be in there. Not a thing. Of course, we're now walking towards what was Horizons, sponsored by General Electric, the sequel to the Carousel of Progress. A beloved attraction. Originally supposed to call it Century 3 because it was going to show people what the third century of American living would be like. This planter actually is shaped like the Horizons building. This end would have been the front of the building. Best attraction ever? No, I think, in my opinion, Imagination. We always liked Imagination more. We did like Horizons. We very much liked Horizons. But yeah, so it's the same shape as the front of the building was. And the back, it was all that, the whole building was that shape. I'm gonna have a seat. Been walking around for a while. I'm gonna sit on the Horizons planter for a moment. Horizon was an omni-mover ride where you faced out one side, looked at what the future, what people in the past thought the future was going to be, and what we thought the future was going to be at that moment in time in 1983. And then at the end, a pretty novel concept. You could choose your ending. That's right back in 1983. There were buttons on a console in your vehicle, and majority rules. And you pick an ending, whether it's in the desert, in underwater, or there was the farming community was the third one. No, yeah, a pretty neat ride. A lot of talk about it for hours, but certainly we'll do a video Back to the Future on that in the not too distant future, I'm sure. Then in Horizons went seasonal fairly early in its life in 1993. The contract expired with GE. So it was seasonal for a long time. If you came during the holidays, there's a lot of birds over here.
Sorry, I get distracted.
They weren't here when I got here. They all just
Damn it,
arrived.
that's Tom Corless.
Sure. It was it Mesa Verde, Brava Centauri.
What would you choose?
We always were pretty random. There wasn't one I was in love with. We'd pick. I think what we would do is we usually ride 3 times, and we'd try to do all 3. And the first time, my father would always complain that he never got which one he wanted. But then we'd do all 3 anyway. Yeah, it was a cool ride. Went seasonal pretty early in its life, and then by 1999 was officially closed, and they began construction on Mission Space, which is originally supposed to be sponsored by Compaq. Compaq was purchased by HP during construction, and so HP became the sponsor instead. But the preview center had signage that said, "Oh, Mission Space, sponsored by Compaq." There was a preview center in Innovations, by the way. Was it Mesa? Yeah, Mesa Verde Sea Castle and Brava Centauri. Space, sea, and land. I had a brain fart for a moment.
It's hot out.
The Mission Space finally opened officially on August 15, 2003, but there were soft openings well before that. It opened, it was pretty popular in the beginning, and then they started to have some incidents. A couple people passed away on the ride. It was a little too intense for everybody. And so by the second year, the popularity started falling off pretty quickly. I was pretty enamored with it when it opened. I thought it was really cool.
You never found it too intense?
No, I thought it was neat. I thought it was really
You and
neat.
your father were okay?
I thought it was a perfect Epcot thrill ride.
Wow.
It's unfortunate that it replaced Horizons, but
I did not know what I was getting
think it
into
fits in
when
well.
I first rode it, and then I was like, oh no.
a lot of people get sick
That
on
was
it, though.
probably
Yeah,
most people.
but it's a cool thing. I mean, showing people what space training is like is a very Epcot idea, right?
I miss Destiny.
Song was I like the exit song.
You miss Gary.
So anyway, after a little bit after opening, they introduced a green version, which is just kind of like a plain old motion simulator in a lot of ways. And they did reanimate the attraction a couple years ago, and they debuted a brand new green version, which has a completely different film. ILM helped them animate the two new films, and they got a new host. Gary Sinise is gone, replaced with a woman whose name I cannot remember. I think she's on some nerdy TV show
Gina
people like.
Torres.
What was she on?
Gina Torres?
What shows was she on? Firefly, yeah. Firefly. And, no, people know from Firefly.
Oh.
That's the thing. Yeah. I couldn't remember which nerdy TV show she was from, but yeah. Sadly. Yeah, no, I miss Gary Sinise, but there are some Gary Sinise references. They left a couple lines of his in the ride portion when you lose autopilot. Yes, she's also from Suits. Yes. That's Mission Space. And now it's getting a restaurant. Maybe? Who knows? It's built. Maybe someday they'll open. And then next door is the Wonders of Life, which opened in 1989. Sponsored by MetLife. So Snoopy used to be here. It opened with Body Wars, a simulator a la Star Tours, and Cranium Command, which starred a lot of great comedy stars of the 80s. The original marquee was removed and instead was placed as it's now over the Magic Kingdom parking toll plaza. So that big metal thing that holds the Magic Kingdom sign was originally over the entrance of the Wonders of Life Pavilion. It existed until 2007. It was seasonal its last couple years, but January of 2007, they finally closed it for good. They used it a couple years as a festival pavilion for the various Epcot festivals, and now finally finding life as a whole new pavilion, the Play Pavilion.
Oh no.
Yeah. I mean, Wonders have been gone for a long time. It'll be nice to see that as something. And this side has so much for adults, right? You have all thrill rides. So you really need somewhere for kids to just go play while, obviously one parent should stay with them. But while the older kids and maybe dad or mom run off and ride a roller coaster or Mission Space or
Do that child slot,
test
right?
track. Yeah. Everyone else can go hang out in an air-conditioned Play Pavilion, play some games, watch some entertainment. I think it's a fun idea. Would I have liked a new health pavilion? Absolutely. But at the same time, it's a thoughtful addition given everything on this side. And hopefully eventually they'll use the show buildings. Hopefully eventually they'll get some actual attractions in there, not just some intervention style play exhibits, which is what they'll open with. But someday maybe they'll break into those show buildings as well. In Body Wars, starring in Body Wars was Elizabeth Shue. And it was directed by Leonard Nimoy. And also the other guy, I never remember the other guy's name. I just know him as the bad guy from Fletch. So I just used to go in there and yell, "Look, it's the bad guy from Fletch." If anyone out there's actually seen Fletch, probably not. Sometimes I feel like the only person that's ever seen that
I've never.
movie. Fletch is great. Starred Chevy Chase. It's based on a book. There's two of them. There's also Fletch Lives. He is in Animal House also. That's right.
Who is it?
Tim Matheson. Captain Braddock. Yep, that's him. Test Track, originally The World of Motion, narrated by Gary Owens. Most of the ride actually created by Mark Davis, although he doesn't get a lot of credit for it. World of Motion was again like most of Epcot early on, an omnimover ride through the history of transportation. Is it only 15? Yeah. Historical ride through transportation, taking you through to what the future of transportation could be. And then it closed in January of '96 to become the GM Test Track, which had a lot of delays. It was supposed to open several points in 1997. It didn't. It was supposed to open several points in 1998. It didn't. And then finally, towards the very end of '98, it soft opened, officially opened to the public in March of 1999. That version of Test Track lasted until 2012. April, I think it closed in 2012. In December of 2012, rebranded as the Chevy Test Track, Test Track presented by Chevrolet, excuse me, and allows guests to design their own car and then possibly see them on a screen later in the ride if things work out. Painted most of the ride black, put up a lot of flats, use of early projection mapping. They were just really starting to get the hang of it at that time. And yeah, still here now, 8 years. I can't believe this is 8 years old already.
It's crazy.
Right? It's almost time for 3.0. I hope.
I'm ready.
Yeah, let's hope GM's doing slightly better now than they were in 2012.
That's for sure.
That was when they were bailed out. So most people thought they weren't going to renew, but Disney made a deal with them. GM really came through and they were like, well, we really want to promote our Chevy brand. And so we want this ride to be specifically presented by Chevrolet.
They were looking at brand consolidation.
They were, yeah. But I think, GM bounced back in a big way.
Yeah.
It's a great American business success story.
Funded by taxpayer dollars.
It is, but I don't know. I'm for it. We can't afford all those people to lose their jobs and stuff. We all float together, right? Not a far situation from where we are now.
Oh, they painted.
They did paint the restrooms. Would you be nice enough to take some photographs?
I would love to take some photographs.
They did. I saw them go on their break earlier, and I was like, they must be working.
Deck work is new.
Yeah.
It was all black around there before.
Some restroom progress.
I'm ready to use
Actually,
this
there's someone going back to work on the bathrooms right now. Please open these toilets. Is there a new sign? Or is that the old sign? Yeah. Keep the old sign. Keep the old sign.
Oh yeah, all new deck work piping.
Yeah. Cool.
I'm ready for these to be open.
It's
Your options are Epcot experience or
that's the
park
closest.
entrance.
The closest restrooms are technically the Epcot experience. Yeah.
I mean, there's gonna be a lot of people coming out of Guardians. They're gonna need them.
Well, I mean that'll be done way before Guardians.
Well, the way they were working on it, I wasn't so sure.
Yeah. Right. It's Mouse Gear, the former and next Mouse Gear.
Gear singular.
Yes. Originally the Centaurium, a 2-floor carpeted shopping experience. It's a beautiful shop. Love those 2 floors. Came Mouse Gear in 1999 again. A lot of change around that Millennium celebration.
Pins.
Yep, you had Pin Central, Mouse Gear. You had a redo of Interventions already. Only 5 years in, it became the Road to Tomorrow. Illuminations, the Tapestry of Nations Parade, the Millennium Village, Journey to Your Imagination.
Oh no.
Yeah, that was part of it. Test Track then got lumped in because it didn't open officially until March of '99.
Wasn't supposed to.
No, it was not supposed to be.
What a beautiful day. I mean, it's super crazy warm, but like, it's a gorgeous day.
This should have been like 10 years ago. I think if they had started in phases 10 years ago, we'd be in a much better place. I think the problem was there was a lot of stopgap Epcot fixer. They started on redoing Epcot in the early 2000s, right? Because we had Imagination had just been done, the Admission Space, Soarin', Seas with Nemo. We were rolling there for a bit, and then there was just a big gap of no future world changes really outside of Spaceship Earth.
Hi, Pat.
That was my mom watching.
Yes.
Horizons music playing right now.
This is a great sing-along song.
What, Horizons?
Like End of the Night.
Well, I love on the park anniversaries when they play all the old music, and usually we're in a big group and we'll all just sing along.
Accompanied by Mariachi Cobra.
Yeah, there it is. We'll meet you out.
What a beautiful day. My favorite.
It's a pretty day.
My favorite Disney park is always the emptiest Disney park.
Should we go get a beverage at the Epcot experience? I haven't had anything to drink in 90 minutes. Or what?
Or we
was
can
your
do a
option?
booth.
I don't want to do a booth. I want a beverage.
We want to have some hydration.
They have fountain soda at the Epcot experience. Also, this is the Odyssey. This was the Odyssey, the Epcot experience, the Odyssey Center, which was a restaurant back in the day, a character meal in later years.
Do you know what characters hung out there?
Yeah, it was like Mickey and the gang. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and they would come out and do a little show to a song called Clap Your Hands.
Was it a character meal in the land at the same time as this?
This wasn't really a character meal. Like, it was still, I believe it was still counter service. I think characters just came out at a counter service.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
That's kind of like Japan.
From what I remember, it was counter service. I don't think it was table service. I'm pretty sure it was counter service. Clap your hands. Ch-ch-ch. There's a party going on. Clap your hands. Ch-ch-ch. Many other things over the years after that was gone. Used for a lot of special events.
And storage.
If you had dessert parties and they got rained out, sometimes they'd end up in here.
That's right. When they had the Illuminations one before the Frozen dessert party.
Oh, I meant like the ones you book yourself.
All those as well.
Yeah. No, in fact, one of our Epcot anniversaries ended up in here, but people were very happy because this building wasn't readily available at that time. And this building is a very important part of Epcot's legacy. Opening day. Pavilion. A forgotten part of Future World.
Remember when they redid the washrooms and they opened them on like New Year's Eve?
I know, I remember being so nervous that they're going to ruin these bathrooms.
I know.
But they did a nice job. They were very thoughtful. They found tile that was the same shape as the old tile and everything. Did a nice job. Would you acquire me a Diet Coke with no ice, please? Just that. What else would I want?
Ice cream?
I don't want ice cream.
Well, you know where we have to go for ice cream.
I know where we have to go for ice cream. I just want a soda. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll go find a table or something. All right, everybody, we're going to take a hydration break here, but I'll stay with you. And then maybe we'll walk around and look at all the posters in here and reminisce about some things that are no longer with us here at Epcot. No, the Spaceship Earth poster's still here, but I think it seems like everything else that still has a poster here will still have one. Mary Poppins stuff is all gone. All gone. I should do it for you, this photo op. How much of that will turn out as it looks in that art, I do not know. I don't know who painted that. I don't know who did that art. I have no idea. Are we fighting about the need for ice and soda? The asymmetrical thing. It's this winding path. If it happens, I like it. I have to say I was excited for the stuff in the middle. I'm not adverse to any of that.
The beer garden.
Yeah, the beer garden. The Epcot beer garden. I bet the beer garden makes it.
Of course.
I bet the pavilion, the festival building makes it. I mean, there's a lot of money in festivals.
I think it'll happen. It's probably just one of the deferrals at the moment.
I don't think it's even a deferral. I think they're about to pick back up. We got all these permits coming through.
I mean, $23 billion in cash at Q3, so I don't even see why they need to defer personally.
I think they've deferred enough at other parks. I think Epcot, they realize like it's too late. They started, like they have to finish. Like, they pushed off the hotel. They pushed off Reflection. They pushed off Roundup Barbecue. It's very zoomed. Oh no. Oh no. Is he eating Epcot? Yeah, YouTube notifications didn't work today, which is why we had a hard time getting to where we are. But thank you for finally showing up, everyone. Not your fault. It's a shame it doesn't always work. Oh, Nicholas, thank you so much. Really missing Epcot over here in Ireland. Have your soda on me. Thank you. That's very sweet. Thank you.
That's so kind.
That nice couple tried to give me an in-person super chat. I was like, no.
You're like, no.
I can't take money.
Enjoy your time.
I can't take money in
No.
the theme park. Or,
That's,
no.
Yeah.
No, it was nice enough that they were. I'm glad they were enjoying their visit.
I didn't know how long they were sitting there. I just noticed there were like people had approached you.
We were facing the other way, and I'm
I know.
looking at the phone, so I have no idea.
So when you see me frantically waving at you.
Favorite candlelight narrator?
Oh, that's a really good question.
I've only been to like 2 or 3.
Really?
What, Neil Patrick Harris, Whoopi Goldberg, and Gary Sinise?
I saw Jodie Benson narrate it. She was phenomenal.
Neil Patrick
It
Harris,
was like it was
probably.
more of like a religious narration than others.
WDWNT Twitter follower Neil Patrick Harris, of course. Neil Patrick Harris also owns our Save Figment shirt, which is pretty cool. Are the internal buses running? They are. Can you use the Riviera pool? I'm not going to tell you can use the Riviera pool because I can't tell you that. Do I think you might be able to get in? You might, but I have no promises for you.
I can give some information on that though. The you do need a magic band to open the gate to the Riviera pool.
You do.
You do. So I can tell you that. That's all I will say.
Yeah.
Just the fact.
Sometimes people are nice. I do not like the Ratatouille ride, yeah. I was very disappointed. I loved that movie, so it's very disappointing. The load area is cute. I like the queue in the load area. And the rest after that is you can keep. The load area is better than any scene in the ride. Actually, the fridge is cute too. I like the fridge. But that's it.
When
the physical scene.
When the wheels move, it's
When the
nice.
wheels move, it's cool. I assume they'll work here because it'll be new.
Assumptions
It's just
are
the rest.
dangerous.
The rest is just. It's just too much screen. I'm disappointed. It's very disappointed.
It's funny though, because I think most of the faults of that ride are things that are not too difficult to correct.
I think you'd have to redesign most of those scenes to
Yeah.
not be screen based.
Well, no, they need to do the floor projection. There's lighting issues,
The floor needs to look like
transition
the floor.
issues. But if they project it on the floor like Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, it might help.
We're not getting Chez Remy either, which is super sad.
But we'll wait and see what the creperie turns out to be.
She'll be nice, but it won't be Chez Remy. Chez Remy is one of the cutest restaurants in any Disney park.
And the food is good. The cast members are phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's a real dining experience.
It's very special. We actually have a tour of Chez Remy right here on our YouTube channel if you guys want to watch it. It's pretty fun. I don't know if we're going to do a History Walk World Showcase. We're already at 100 minutes, so maybe it's better to just leave that for the next time we come to Epcot. Dined at Chez Remy last week. That's cool.
Jealous.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous.
I wish I could go to Paris. I can't. Not allowed. I don't know what happened. Sorry, we're just reading that, like, apparently playoff game tonight is canceled. Oh, there's a shooting. Oh, yeah, I heard. I didn't really hear about this. I've been living in my bubble. I have no idea what's going on in the real world. Yeah, I don't blame them. That's fair.
Good for them.
Yeah. The photo thing, you stand like it's like you're on top of Spaceship Earth. I will when I'm done with my soda. If you're just joining us, thank you. We're taking a quick hydration break. We've been on for over 100 minutes, so between the heat and everything, good to rehydrate. We'll continue in a few moments. I'm happy to take any questions or whatever while we're sitting here, though. Meantime, be sure to like, the big gateway gift sign is gone. Your hour's behind, guys. Be sure to like this video. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. What do you miss the most in Epcot that's closed? I mean, the original Journey to Imagination, for sure. There are other things I miss. I was never a big fan of it, but I grew to love it later. Reflections of Earth. I miss Reflections of Earth a lot. And then probably also on the list would be the 1994 Spaceship Earth. Those would be the things I miss the most. I also miss the Epcot character bus. That was a big part of my childhood. I don't know when Savi's will be back to normal. I have no idea. I like the music from Tapestry Nations. It didn't work. This park isn't made for parades. most excited for that's coming? I don't even know. I think I was most excited for the stuff in the middle, the festival pavilion and all that redo, and now I don't even know what that looks like anymore. I guess Guardians. I like Guardians a lot. I like those movies a lot. So I would hope I'll like that attraction. I hope it is very fun. Time to cry because we were talking about the history of Epcot and so many things that are gone that we love. For Illumination, they played music from each country. What was that called? There's just the pre-show music. I didn't have a specific name. Festival is not mobile order near lines for kiosks. No, we checked out a yacht club today. Does Epcot have a worse parade route than MGM or DAC? Yeah, for sure. For sure, it just did not work. Really shut down World Showcase in the afternoon. No, Studios was fine. Those parades worked out fine. No, the Epcot route was bad. The inflatable character on World Showcase had nothing to do with Illuminations. That was a completely different thing. Oh, thanks, David. Did you ever do a Back to the Future on Westcott? No, not specifically. And we will. We will do Westcott. We're starting to do the first park Back to the Future we're going to do is probably in the relatively near future. We're going to do Blizzard Beach because it's the anniversary. But we will do a lot of those unbuilt parks. We'll do Disney's America and Westcott and a lot of those at some point. Yeah, we've talked about it, but we're going to, once I have some time, doing this daily streaming thing, going to the parks every day has been really interfering with a lot of other projects. And so as the weeks progress, we'll wean off of this will be not a daily occurrence, but a regular occurrence, a couple times a week. So that way we'll have time to do WDW News Tonight on Thursdays and do Back to the Future once a month and get back to a lot of that stuff. And these park streams will likely, at least from me, they'll be 3 or 4 days a week. A couple weeks from now, and maybe we'll have someone else fill in the other days, but I don't think I can do 7 days a week forever.
No.
Sadly, it's a bit much. So definitely by October 1st, I will not be doing 7 days a week. We will likely still stream 7 days a week, but we'll see which reporters or personalities or whoever will be the people actually doing them.
Unless
Not
we clone
cutting you
you.
off. There'll be certain days. So whether it's well, it won't be Monday, Wednesday, Friday because I do news today. Probably like, I don't know, Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays or something. We'll figure out. There'll be set days. There'll be set days. 3 or 4 a week, and then someone else will fill in, or several other people will fill in on the other days. You guys are close to 400 likes, 4 more to go. You drank a whole second water, gee. These are big cups.
Yeah. Drink it. Got it?
I did, it's
Did
gone.
it. Good. Need to hydrate.
Is what live now? We're live right now. This is live.
Alright. Mask on. I'm glad they kept the wooden ceiling.
They had to keep the wooden ceiling. We would be livid.
I mean,
the
there was
wooden
like
ceiling
wooden railings. There was the stage they got rid
Yeah.
of, but you know, what can you do?
You have to show me in the photo op.
Oh, okay.
Well, give me the bag first.
I must put my fanny pack
That's fine.
on.
Put your fanny pack on. Hurry up, the magic of possibility awaits.
Okay.
And then we can go around and I can tell you which posters I didn't buy yet.
Okay, let's take his photo. To get closer so it looks like he's on the roof. Don't fall, Tom! Don't fall! Why don't you go see your favorite attraction over here? Reminds me of Galaxy.
What reminds? Oh, the fish. Yeah, sure. I mean, they haven't all been for sale yet. So the ones I don't own are just the ones that they haven't released yet. I think this whole wall is out. Turtle Talk Japan.
Grand Fiesta though?
No, Grand Fiesta. Those ones at the end are not.
Yeah.
So Grand Fiesta and Millennium Celebration are not out yet. Play isn't out yet. Kitchen Cabaret isn't out yet. Test Track Illuminations at Harmonious aren't out yet. I have Space 220. That one's out. Wondrous China.
Ancient and modern country.
The timing couldn't be better for a new China film. Everyone will be very excited for a new China film.
Everyone's favorite little chef is coming to France.
Bonsoir.
Let's see what he's cooking up for you.
Bonsoir.
Welcome to Paris, the city of light.
This is basically the ride, what you're seeing right now.
Tonight, Chef Ali is preparing one of his specialties, which I am certain you will enjoy.
Coco vin? No.
A simple omelet? Too simple.
Oui, that's
It looks like Gusteau's talking to Spaceship Earth. Remy with Flock. If I run around the room right now, it'll be just like the ride.
Thanks for coming, everyone. Vous êtes toujours les bienvenus chez À bientôt et bon appétit.
Hey, you know what construction just resumed on? Epcot's new nighttime spectacular, Harmonious.
Turns tonight. Epcot comes to life in a global celebration of Disney music.
It better be good or no one will call.
Epcot, where the magic of possibility awaits.
That's a lot of pyro promises right there.
stars in an endless universe.
Or we should see the beginning since we talked about a lot of old Epcot today.
Shines bright, filled with ideas, hopes, dreams. These are the sparks that make us who we are. When we share these sparks with each other, it can be magical. Welcome to a place that celebrates the magic of possibility and always has, right from the very beginning.
In fact, the heart of everything we'll be doing in Disney World will be our experimental prototype city of tomorrow. We call it Epcot.
Sight.
All of us into a world of new possibilities. Discover a place where real worlds are made fantastic. Where curiosity leads to discovery.
Where the beer garden is outside Mouse Gear. With them logos.
The magic of possibility awaits, and this is just the beginning.
Hit me with them logos.
Epcot experiences have always represented big ideas, from nature to discovery, world culture to the celebration of humanity. It is a place full of wonders. Let's go discover them together. There's a magical new interactive trail to explore where water is alive and waiting to be made.
Well, I guess we gotta exit out this one.
Feel hydrated.
I do. Water is the most precious of resources, says Moana's grandma. I don't know her name. Grand Moana. The girl who played Moana was too busy to record audio for the trail. So they got the lady. The ice cream is back. People are already saying all you talk about is ice cream.
This is correct. They're
Yeah.
right. But the ice cream is
The ice cream is back. All right, everybody. Well, I think that's gonna wrap it up for today. We've already been on for over 2 hours. We'll save World Showcase for another day. That'll be 2 hours on its own. Closing in on dinner time for a lot of you, as well as the Epcot Ducks. They're going to get their dinner now.
Wash your hands often and thoroughly.
He's on a mission.
Cover your mouth and nose when coughing and sneezing, and maintain physical distancing.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys. Where am I tomorrow? Oh boy. Animal Kingdom tomorrow. See you guys tomorrow. Have a good evening.